Hello Heathlands at home and welcome to another Arts Live session. Obviously today not from Purple Bubble. So for reasons I am at home today. So I'm still doing Art Live, but we're doing it from my living room this afternoon. So today, like I said in the post about an hour ago, we are going to make a lovely origami giraffe. So this was made using my daughter's origami pack again. I'll just go and grab that to show you. So this is wild origami from a company called Galt, and you get all the different textured papers in here and the instructions, and you get a pack of stickers as well, which is fantastic. So yeah, we're going to make the giraffe, but as usual, what we're going to do to make our giraffe is make our own textured papers again today. So if you're here, do say hello, and you know, drop me some comments. That would be great. It's always lovely to be able to chat and say hello to everybody. And what we'll do is we'll make a start. So yes, as I say, we're making this lovely origami giraffe this afternoon. So to make your giraffe, what you're going to need is some paint, a felt tip pen of some kind. You're going to need a glue stick. You're going to need a paint palette or two. And I've got this piece of sponge that's got a kind of texture to it. That's to create our spots and dots on our giraffe. And you're going to need a paintbrush that can be quite bristly. If you can hear that noise in the background, that's my one of my cats on a cat scratching post. So yeah, so we need our paint, our glue, our paper, our palettes and things to start creating our textured papers. So this is a piece of textured paper I've created already, and I've got a couple that I've finished, and I'm just going to put them to one side for now. I've got one which I've done my fur texture on already, and then I've got a blank piece of paper too. So we're going to clear down a little bit and we're going to make a start. So we need some brown paint to do our spots, our splodges for our giraffes. Splodges, as I say, and we need some yellow paint to do his fur. So I've put the brown paint on this flat palette because that's what we're going to use to get the sponge set up. And then I've got this other palette for my yellow. So I'll move them out to one side, move all the instructions off to one side. Now what I'm going to do, because I don't want to get paint on my lovely cutting boards, I want to keep this clean because we cut fabric on this, is I'm going to use a piece of paper to work on. So we've got a piece of paper to work on, we've got our two colours of paint ready. There's our giraffe for inspiration, and what we're going to start off by doing is showing you how to create that lovely fur texture. So the fur, what I'm doing is I've got a quite a coarse bristle brush here. Is that going to focus? And all I'm going to do is I'm going to load the brush up. I want it quite dry. So like last time, we're not putting lots and lots of paint on. What we're going to do is have quite a dry brush, and we're going to make those curves and sweeps again to create texture all over for our giraffe's fur. So very much like the lion last week, we're going to curl one way, curl the other, with very, very little paint on our paintbrush. And you're going to fill this piece of A4 paper up with that texture. So if I bring this closer, hopefully you can see. The lighting is not as good in my front room, guys. as it is in the purple bubble. So I do apologise, but this is how we create our fur texture, and it's quite quick and easy to do. As you can see, I've nearly filled up this page already, and I am going to fill it up because I'd quite like to make another giraffe with Eva once I'm finished this live video. I love doing crafts with Eva. She's very good. So that's my page nearly filled with our lovely fur textures. That should do for our yellow fur. So that's how quick it was. Really simple and easy. So I'm going to put that to one side and put my brush to one side because we don't need that anymore. So I have here a piece of paper that I've pre-prepared with our yellow fur texture on it. So what I want to show you now is how to use a sponge and a little bit of brown paint just to create the texture of the splodges of our giraffe. So we're going to take our sponge and we're going to dab in the paint. We don't want too much on, but we do want to get the sponge nice and loaded up. So all I'm going to do, very simply, is keep that brush, that paint, not too thick on our sponge, and just dab all over to create our giraffe splodges. And you can see this is even quicker to achieve than painting the fur. And that should be our completed giraffe texture. Really quick and simple. So now that we've finished our textured papers, I'm going to put that one to one side. I'm going to move my palettes out of the way because I don't want any paint getting onto my finished papers that I have here. I'm going to move my paper away that I use to protect my cutting board, and I'm going to bring these textured papers back. So I've got a bit of paint on my hands from the sponge. I'm just going to give them a quick rub because I don't want it to transfer too much, but there we go. So now that we've got some prepared A4 paper, we need to make this into a square to use for origami. So as you can see, I've not painted this end because, well, I don't need to. We're going to cut that off. So if we move one piece out of the way, what we're going to do to make this into a square for origami paper again, we're going to take this bottom corner and we're going to move it up to the top edge here. So we're going to fold it along the diagonal. You want to try and be nice and accurate and get those edges nice and parallel. And then we're going to fold down along the diagonal, like so. I'm going to make really nice crisp crease. So we folded the bottom corner up to the top edge. The next thing we need to do is we need to fold this strip up to that corner that we created here, and making sure that these two corners match up nicely and that these edges stay parallel with each other. We're going to fold that down to make really, really crisp creases. Christopher, hi, how are you doing? It's lovely to hear from you. Saying hello from Blackpool, and I hope everything's okay. Yeah, Chris, everything's fantastic. It's really lovely to have you on board. Now, I'm just double checking that I've got my fold in the right position. I think it needs to come up a little bit. I don't think we've quite hit the mark. No. I think it's more like there. So, just going to make sure I'm getting that fold absolutely perfect. I do not want oblong paper. We need a square. So there we go. Rather difficult to see when you're using this painted textured paper. There we go, a nice crisp crease. And what we're going to do is just rip along that crease. So we've got our first square. So we're going to repeat that process with this other piece of paper, because we need 2 pieces of origami paper for our giraffe today. So we're going to fold that top corner up. Oh, sorry, bottom corner up to the top edge. Folding it down, and then we're going to fold this back on itself to create our square of origami paper. So I'll repeat that for you just so you get the sense of it. We've taken this bottom corner and we're folding it up to the top edge, and then we've folded this back on itself to create our square. So we'll make sure that that's a nice crisp crease, and then just rip it gently apart. So to make our giraffe, I'm going to bring my instructions in so you can see here, guys. We need to start by doing the same leg fold that we've done for our tiger, our zebra and our lion last week. So we need to start by folding the paper in half, and then in half the other way. Now, I've got to hope that I've got this the right way round. Then after we've folded it in half, what we're going to do is we're going to fold each edge up to the halfway point. So that's in half, and that's kind of in half again, and we're going to do that all the way around. Now don't worry if you've got this upside down or back to front, because you can always reverse the folds really easily. So fold that up to the halfway point and fold that up again. So now that we've folded it in half and in half again all the way around, what we need to do is fold the edges in on themselves again. So right round the edge we're going to fold in half again all the way round. Now, tricky to see where the edges are on this. We'll get there. I've got a funny feeling I've done this inside out, but it's okay, because what I'll do is I'll just reverse my folds. So in half again. So let me double check this. And I fold that all up. Yes, I have done it inside out, guys. I do apologise. Right, so we're going to open this up, and then we're going to fold everything in together. It should be easier to see. So if we fold these in, and then these in, and then this in as well. So, once you've folded in all of your sides, like so, the open flaps need to go back on themselves, and the closed flaps need to come in, like so. So, on the back you should have completely coloured in with two kind of edges, and on the front and on the back it should look like this, with these funny little flappy bits. And what we're going to do is we're going to open these flappy bits up, just like we did with the lion. So it's the bottom flap we want to open up here, and we're going to fold them down. So again, to create the leg, we're going to put our finger inside this little square here. And I can zoom in a bit if you like. See if I can do that to show you how I'm doing that. So this little square here, I'm tucking my finger in the back and pushing it open. So as I push it open, it comes open, and this creates a little leg coming down here. And then we're going to repeat that on the other side. So this flap here, I'm going to tuck our finger in there, open this out so that his leg comes down. And do it one more time. Put your finger in there, open it up and fold it down. So that is our completed legs, the way we did it for our lion or our tiger or zebra. Now hopefully you can see there's a slight difference in our zebra in that he's got a sloping back. So the additional step for the giraffe is you're going to fold down his back along the diagonal, like so. So if you fold down his back, obviously you don't want this flappy bit on the outside. So what we do is we fold it down. You can do it each way to help if you need to. And then what we're going to do is we're going to open up his back, and we're going to tuck that fold inside of itself. And press that down, and once you've tucked that fold inside of itself, what you can do is you can take your glue stick, and in this V that we've created here, you can put a little bit of glue and then folding him back up, you can stick that together to create his back. So that's the completed legs. I'm going to put that to one side to dry, and I'm going to zoom out again. Sorry, apologies. Just going to zoom out a little bit so you guys can see everything that I'm doing. So our giraffe's legs are complete. Now what we need to do is to make his neck and his face. So to do that, you're going to work on the wrong side. You're going to start with the blank side of your paper, and you're going to fold it in half diagonally. You're going to open it back up, and then taking these two edges, you're going to fold the edges to the middle where that line is. So we're going to fold it like so. I'm going to make them meet in the middle. So you're kind of creating a kite shape. So we folded in half, like so, opened it up again, and now we've folded the sides into the middle to create this kite shape. What we're going to do is repeat that step and fold in the sides again. So folded in one side, and now we're going to fold in the other. You've got a really sharp, kind of long, tapered kite. The next step is to fold this point up over. So we'll move that out the way, and we're just going to turn that point up to form a flat edge along the bottom. So we folded in half and in half again, and then we folded the bottom edge, well, the bottom point up to create this flat edge. The next thing you're going to do is fold it in half again. So there we have a really, really long pointy triangle. So our giraffe, this is the back of his neck, and this is the front of his neck. So you need to make his face pointing this direction. So to make his face, we're going to fold over, I don't know, about 3 or 4 centimetres down, if you're using A4 paper. I'm going to fold it down and make his face maybe a bit bigger. Make his face come straight across. So I can zoom in on that again for you. So we've taken the top point and we've folded it down. So you kind of create a right angle here. Now obviously that looks more like a stalk than a giraffe so far. So the next thing you need to do is you need to reverse that fold out on itself. So that's quite complicated, I know, but all I did was, after I folded it down, I folded it back up. You open your work up and you push this away, and it will reverse on itself. And then to make his face even more giraffe-like, you're going to turn this back on itself. And then you're going to reverse that fold as well. And there we have our completed giraffe's face. So you have legs, you have a body. I will just zoom back out a little bit. To finish your giraffe off, you could use eye stickers like came in the pack for Eva, or you can just use a black Sharpie or felt tip pen and draw an eye on each side. And then to finish him off, all you're going to do is open up the back of his neck, put some glue on, doesn't need to be too far up, and then you need to decide which way your giraffe is going to face. Well, he's going to face this way, and then you just stick your giraffe's neck onto his body. And that is our completed origami giraffe. All made from scratch, making our own textured papers. And completing all of our folds. So that's our origami instruction for this week. Next week, as I've said, I'm going to be on holiday, but I've already created our first pre-recorded art session. So what am I doing next week? What am I doing next week? I've pre-recorded a session and now I can't remember what it is that I'm doing. Let me just bring up my video editor. Seriously, guys, I can't remember what I'm doing. It could be the fire-breathing dragon. Or have I already done that one? It could be fire-breathing dragon. The week after, I'm hoping to create a textiles pinboard, noteboard for you as well, if I've got all the materials. But anyhow, that's our completed origami for today. I really hope you've enjoyed this session. And I will be back next week, but not live, with a pre-recorded session at 1:30 on Monday. And I hope to see you all again really soon. Bye, guys.